Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. If you're joining this channel for the first time, this channel is about all things business, more specifically, my experience with small business, whatever I can do to help you start, run, and grow your small business. So, I wanted to address an email that I got. I guess this person feels that I'm being overly simple on this channel and just with the terms and the definitions and being a little bit repetitive. And then in some instances, I guess they feel like I'm not digging deep enough. So I appreciate the feedback. And I can read through the lines, of course. I realize that a lot of times interpretation, I could have been insulted, you know. I read some stuff, and I can read into it. I'll say that the language is the overall message of the language I understand. So even if you meant it for bad or to hurt me or whatever, you actually still help because I appreciate that feedback. And the reason why I'm overly simple is because I realize that everyone's starting at different levels. And there's a level that I'm trying to reach. I don't quite know what else to tell you. This is my personal channel, as I said, my experience with small business and whatever I can do to help you. So you take the meat and you spit out the bones. In this instance, I have a small child. So when I created this channel, I really kind of had him in mind and, how he could learn from this. And you have to understand there's some there's some grown-ups that their educational level is low because they've worked all their life or whatever their circumstances are. So whoever I can reach with this, again, take the meat, spit out the bones. So I'll give you an instance. Oh, and then the other one was just a general conversation I was having where the person was asking me, why do I put myself at risk going into certain places and talking to certain types of people and things. And I tried to answer them as best as possible too. I remain neutral. And I did a audio session on being neutral in business, but I'm neutral in business and in my personal life. It's not my place to judge anyone. Now, when I was younger, I was really dumb. That's the only thing I can tell you. And why I'm here is grace and faith and people praying for me praying for myself, and just whatever my purpose is why I'm still here. Because yes, there's many instances that I've walked into by choice and it was very bad. It could have turned out even worse. But still, I'm not scared of my people, right? I'm not scared of my people and I'm not scared of people. I don't fear any man. And when I say man, man, woman, I don't care what you look like or where you're from. If you can, if you're not trying to hurt me physically, because words don't even bother me. If you are not trying to hurt me physically, meaning running at me, drawing down on me, whatever, those are the only situations where I'll react negatively. I do have, and I've come a long way. Of course, everyone has their lower self and lower points in life. But these instances where people ask me why I, talk or associate with certain people, I'll give you this story when I was in Chicago. I met this young lady. She's from the projects. She's a very, very sweet lady. I met her on the bus and, man, wound up getting to know her and exchanging numbers, going to visit her in the projects. Her mom was super sweet. I met the uncle. I met the mom. Did I meet the aunt? I believe. All sweet people, very sweet people. This woman worked hard. She had children. She kept her home clean. She went to school. Her biggest, where she's from. People mad, that she put the different colors, whatever color in her braids. It's not even rainbow colors. It's the blonde back in the day. Everybody was putting blonde and stuff like that in their braids. Um, she's from just a different. She's just different, and I don't understand how people can just. I don't know. I get you would be like, okay, a person's trying to rob or hurt me. Some people live in fear like that, like it looking around every corner, and they have these preconceived, uh, they've made up their minds about certain types of people, and okay, if you dress like this or you look like this, you got to be this. So if your mind is already like that, then but back then my mind wasn't like that. Now I proceed with more caution now because I am responsible for another life. So I have the choices that I make affect a whole nother person. So I have to think through my day-to-day life with different eyes. Back then, I used to just wander around. I mean, not wander around, but I would just do what man, if I want to go somewhere, I go. If I want to go to the airport and fly to another country, I would. If I had lived, be over there for 8 months, come back, oh, I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want to live in this area. I just forget breaking leases and whatever. I just pack all my stuff up, put it in a little suitcase and go. I'll be gone. I didn't have any children. I was in school, so I couldn't go far. But man, on breaks and stuff, you do whatever you want to do. You extend semesters, you do whatever. I'd be at the school one day. I was like, okay, next semester I'm going to a whole nother school. Take this class and this class over here because I like this professor. So that's the way I lived my life then. If I met someone, they were cool, like the young lady. Now, my stomach, it was butterflies in my stomach. But again, I'm not afraid of my people. So as I walk down the street, I'm not a bad looking lady. So, people looking, people trying to talk to you, people trying to pull you to the side and get your number. That's, they're just a little bit maybe out in the open with it, I guess. But, as I hung with her and time told her story, time told that she's a good person. We're still good friends now. Time told her story. Time told me that she was a good friend. Time told me that she's consistent. And yes, she talks different. Yeah, she wear her hair different. She expresses, her emotions and her ways. She's physically expressive when she's saying stuff, right? She has her own lingo, her own slang and whatever. Now, she really don't cuss a lot, though. She's not real cussing and loud and everything, but she will tell you about yourself if you need to know. Okay? I love her. What if I would have judged her? What if I would have got off that train, saw this area, was like, I'm not going, I ain't got back on the train and went back up north. Right? What if I would have just, nope. And then I not have to avoid her because I used to see her every day. I guess our paths cross because of our schedules. So that provided us a time to meet. We met, we became friends. Now here's another example. There was an instance, and now my pet peeve is when people pronounce words wrong. Right? That's my pet peeve. And please correct me if I pronounce a word wrong. That's not going to bother me either. So she said a word that and we're sitting there in her house. So no one else is around. And I told her, I was like, girl, that's not how you say that word. And I tried to do it as cool as possible. And I said, that's like, this is how you say the word. And she was like, oh, for real? And she was like, well, whatever, you know what I mean? So we still talking. But what I noticed was the next time when we were talking, or when I heard her say that word again, I heard her, she said it wrong, and and then she corrected herself. So there are some instances where people actually don't know. And so to answer the email person's question, I do that because your knowledge level may be higher, but there was a point where you didn't know what you know. You didn't know how to wipe your behind. You didn't know your ABCs. You didn't know your 1, 2, 3s. Everyone is at certain knowledge levels. The information you're consuming or have consumed is higher than the next person or whatever. Great for you. If I can help someone by teaching them some basic things that they didn't know, or if I can inspire someone by adding to the knowledge that they already know. That's all I want to do, right? But you have to know that you have to meet people where they are. You have to be genuinely neutral. Being neutral allows you to really truly love. You know, when you put up these judgments and these blockers, you can miss good people like that. You can miss good connections, good relationships, and that may be what's wrong with us today. You know, you look at a person, you judge them. They talk a certain way. Oh, they're stupid. You know, quick to judge and quick to name call instead of pulling a person to the side and say, honey, that what you were talking about, that's all out of context. I get where you were trying to go with it, but that word doesn't go there. Okay, baby? This is the word that goes there. And if either that person will say thank you or they'll be angry with you, however that works out. Because sometimes when people aren't very bright and you correct them and they're not neutral either, they may blow up on you. So that's why you have to kind of tread lightly with that too. And then people like to learn in the privacy of their own home. They may be embarrassed to go to a a college course or a classroom or somewhere, or go to a library and check out a book on basic learning or reading skills or whatever, or definitions or this or that. So they may be embarrassed to go and seek out this information so they can learn at the privacy of their own home through YouTube, free. You know, you pay your phone bill, but just, or internet bill, or however you're viewing this, you get a chance to learn in the privacy of your own home without embarrassment. And yes, I am breaking it down to the lowest common denominator. But my focus is business. Because you have people, they are good at stuff. They have gifts, they have talents and skills and things. And even if they're a person that's going to work with you and help you grow your business, and then eventually as they get their skill level up, you can help them grow their business. It could be a chain reaction. But if we're all shunning each other and pushing each other away and kind of talking down and snooting and pointing our finger at folks and, hee-heeing and laughing at folks that don't maybe know as much as you and whatever, just being mean. And I talk about that all the time. Some people are just mean. But when I talk to a person and I see and feel that I can feel them. I don't know where your heart or where you came from, where, how you grew up or whatever, but I can feel your heart. Man, I've had people treat me good in the ghetto, in the hood, where the concrete jungle, the so-called where you can get killed and robbed and whatever. I've had people use me, true enough. I've had different situations go down. But when I was hungry and a person, they don't barely have anything themselves and to say, here you go. I don't have a place to go or whatever, or can't leave at night or can't get home that night or whatever. Here, crash. You're not going nowhere this late. Things like that. Did she off limits as far as whatever type of harm that maybe could come to me? Protection. All types of things. And when I'm dealing with the so-called educated, intelligent folks, no, nobody has your back and will turn their back on you quickly, snoop their nose down on you and be talking about you so quick. Soon as you run into some hard times or something happens to you, right? But on both sides, I've had great people. That's a joke. Some people may get this one. Some people may get that joke. Anyway, going forward, I just encourage you to be neutral. There's many and many and many instances in Chicago that I could have been killed. Okay? People help me. Total strangers come to my aid. And when you hear black folks, you hear black folks this, black folks that, da-da-da-da, whatever. The people that came to my aid are the people that you might be scared of. You might be a little nervous if they walked up on you. These are the people that came to my aid and helped me. I asked my aunt for $100 one time, and that's when I was in Chicago. I was about to get put out. Either she didn't believe me or she didn't have the money, but she didn't give me the money. And then she proceeded to talk about my mom like a dog and how horrible she was for, not being right, doing right by me and raising me right, I guess, to have $100 for my rent or not be short $100 for my rent. Now, mind you, I was 21 years old and I've been on my own since I was 16. So going forward, you thinking in your mind, you have these preconceived this judgment way of thinking. And my aunt actually was kind of like that too. If you was from a certain class of people, ghetto hood or whatever, she's not messing with you. And I see her point of view too. That's the thing. I understand why all the stuff that she's been through in her life. I get it. I get why she feels the way she feels. But I haven't been through the things that she's been through. I've gotten robbed and all types of crazy stuff in Chicago. You make choices. I'm grateful that I'm alive. I was an idiot when in my 20s. I was a total idiot. I'd go anywhere, be all in folks' house. You know how your parents tell you don't go in people's house you don't know. Your parents tell you that. I'm a grown person and all in people's house I don't know. All types of crazy stuff can happen to you. I did a lot of dumb things. Right? And that's why I do the part where we're going through the terms, we're, talking our business. And then I put these personal quibs in here so you can know I'm not trying to point my finger down at you. I'm standing on the same ground as you. I'm not pointing my finger at you. I'm reaching my hand out to you. Whatever is in my head and you want it, I'm going to give it to you. The knowledge, the information, knowledge, and things that I have consumed of the past and whatever I'm consuming in the future. You can have it. Okay? You can have it. I will put it out. I don't have any problems with that. You know? And I'm not going to judge you. If you don't say a word right, or you're not from some prestigious background or didn't grow up in some suburb, whatever. I don't care where you grew up. I don't care who your parents are. I really don't care what you've done. You could be out of prison. I don't care. So I don't associate with some certain types of people, whatever. This is a YouTube channel. People are clicking on here in the privacy of their own home trying to learn. Some people are entertaining themselves. Whatever you choose to do. I chose to make the channel to, get as much information, transmit as much information and knowledge that I know about business and small business. Very simple. And like I tell you all the time, simple is good. Keep it simple. A lot of times when you complicate things, that's when things get out of control. When you keep it simple, simple formulas work really well. People put so much thought into stuff and then that leads to procrastination because you wind up not making any progress or taking any action because you're sitting up here just thinking and weighing and analyzing. So there's a time for the analyzing and learning and thinking and weighing and writing. And then there's a time for the action. And being neutral helps you meet the people that you may need throughout this whole process of you starting this business. If you sit here and you try to prejudge people and you try to use your own eyes, you got to step outside of your own skin and your own self and just be neutral. It feels good to build with someone. It really does. It feels good to help someone. And people, when you say help, people automatically think money. No, you can give a person knowledge and information, and they can take that knowledge and information to make money on their own. Help is not always money. Okay? So I just dropped that little tidbit, little story time or whatever, to come down and just really be personal. And of course, always going to get back to the knowledge, always going to be doing the terms and trying to break stuff down. And yes, it's going to be really, really simple to the lowest common denominator. If you already know this stuff and you're past this, share it publicly somewhere on a social media platform. That way someone that may not can benefit. And like always, until next time, I hope everything you touch turns to gold.